every person that comes here for another year when we launch the Wesley Powell P.A. Benjamin Memorial Track and Field Meet. I am so happy. This has become a signature event on the track and field calendar in Jamaica. And I want to say how grateful I am to be saying welcome and to be bringing greetings on behalf of a distinguished set of past students called Dash. I am only the face here. I haven't done anything with regards to this other than make sure I am along for the ride. So I want to start off by saying how grateful I am to them that I am given the privilege of saying welcome. I want to say welcome, first of all, to Dr. Olivia Rose, like said. So welcome back to your place now. I want to say welcome to, and I have to start with her this morning, Dr. Audrey Hinchcliffe. Welcome back. And therefore, to Mr. Don Gittins and all the members of the team from Manpower and Maintenance Services. I want to say thanks and welcome to the representatives or representative of P.A. Benjamin. I have, up until when I started walking up here, Mr. Chris Powell was still absent, but in his absence, we want to say how grateful we are that they've continued to partner with us. Want to say thanks and welcome to all the representatives of the other sponsors who are showing here today, from LASCO particularly with regards to the iCool brand, and from eFast. And if I haven't called your name, please forgive me. It is not intentional. I would like to say special welcome to some other very distinguished past students of Excelsior High School. This is Marva Bernard, Professor Newton Duncan, Mr. Bellamy, who is always here taking photographs, but that doesn't change. I would like to say a special welcome to Mrs. Riley. You know I can never miss you. Mrs. Riley is, can I say, the head of one of Excelsior's two major families. And I pause here to note that the other head, or the head of the other major family, Mrs. Downer, has recently passed. And so we want to support the Downer family as they go through this period of bereavement. And then I want to say welcome to all the other distinguished persons who are here, which means everybody else, right? And I want to specially mention national coach, Mrs. Sasha Gay Henry Wright, who I've always seen on TV, but first time I've seen her in person, close up. And then Miss Elsie Shaw, manager of the netball home. Did I get that right, Bravo? Thank you for coming to Excelsior this morning. As I said, if I don't call your name, please don't feel badly. I want to welcome members of the press, all the persons who have helped to make this event happen. Teams from all the representatives. I'm coming to her, sir. So when I came up here, I see Mr. Shakespeare gesturing to me, which he always does. He's my boss. So when I went to Mr. Riley, who is my other boss in this forum, he said you could say something about what this meet has accomplished since its inception somewhere about 1997 or 1998. And I would say that in the first instance, it has met one of Dr. Powell's objective, which is that Excelsior's children should be exposed to a wide variety of activities, one of which must be participation in a variety of sports. And apart from that, it has allowed for the development of so many athletes. And this is why we've come to the gesturing, because I have a living example of that here. Miss Nugent, please stand up. Just she's a national athlete, very successful, but I also remember her as one of my babies. You can sit down. And note to the persons over there in uniform, I am hoping that before I leave, I can introduce you in the same forum in a little while down the road. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Thank you for participating in this effort to speak to the Wesley Powell meet that is going to be coming up in December. And I know that God will bless us. The MC and Reverend Edward spoke about the impact of Hurricane Melissa. I just want to say I wish us all the very best, whether directly or indirectly, for the people who have been affected, who are close or connected to us. I know that God will continue to bless us. Please have a very good morning. And may I, before I finish, also acknowledge the presence of my sports master, Mr. Kirkland Bailey. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Back to you, Ms.
Thank you, Mr. Bromfield. Now, allow me to take a moment to share the history and significance of this esteemed event. The Wesley Powell Benjamin's Track and Field Meet 2025 is embarking on its 22nd staging. The meet, which started in 1998 to honor the memory of the late Excelsior High School founder, Dr. the Honorable Aston Wesley Powell, is today a calendar event which receives very high reviews from athletes and coaches who participate. For the first time in its history, the meet is now listed in the World Athletics Global Calendar. Yes. The meet is known for its on-time, clockwork type nature and the relevance of its events offered to their training program. Many of our track and field stars have competed at some point in their developing years at the Wesley Powell meet. These include Asafa Powell, Shelley and Fraser Price, Melanie Walker, Megan Tapper, Akira Nugent, who is here with us today, Nisha Berger, Jahil Hyde, Julian Fort, Clive Pullen, Cheyenne Salmon, Natalia White, Raheem Ford, Jelani Gordon, and Julian Alfred, the 100-meter women champion at the Paris 2024 Olympics. In addition to the competition on the track, we will also host a throws clinic here at Excelsior. It is an athletics performance and self-esteem seminar titled Pretty Girls Throw. This will be led by Dr. Nefertiti Abdullah and her team from out of the USA. The meet will have 47 track events and 26 field events for both males and females who will compete in classes 1, 2, 3, 4 and open for high school and open for clubs, colleges, and institutions and primary schools. The primary schools will run their own races in a single division rather than with the class 4 high school athletes. None of this can be done without sponsors. And we are appreciative of all those who have come on board to make the 22nd staging a success. Please join me in welcoming Don Gittins, CEO of Manpower Maintenance Services Limited, one of our gold sponsors, as he brings greetings.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. Principal, Chairman of the Manpower Group, we're speaking it into being, Dr. M.R.G. Hinchcliffe. Guest speaker, meet organizers, I need to mention Dash because we work closely together. Sponsors, specially invited guests, those online, because I do believe we have some persons online, students, past students, good morning. It is truly an honor for MMS Limited to stand here once again as proud hospitality sponsors of the Wesley Powell Benjamin Track and Field Meet 2025. We are very proud of it. Our partnership with this event spans over 6 years of continuous support, commitment, and collaboration. And every year, we are reminded of why this sponsorship is so meaningful. It's even more meaningful this year with what has happened with Melissa. This meet is more than a competition. It's a celebration of discipline, talent, sportsmanship, and the bright future of Jamaica's youth. MS Limited is proud to help create a safe, clean, and inspiring environment where athletes can perform at their best. Our contributions extends far beyond financial sponsorship. I mean, that is key, but it's far beyond that. For years, we have provided comprehensive cleaning and maintenance support, ensuring that the facilities reflect the excellence of the athletes who compete here. For over 2 years, we have maintained the equator. Everybody familiar with the equator? All right, we have maintained the equator, the basketball gym, and the dormitories, ensuring that the students have clean, sanitary, and comfortable spaces, especially in preparation for boys and girls champs. And we're going to win it at some point very, very soon, right? We have also taken full responsibility for the cleaning and preparation of the field. There was 1 year when the principal came and he said he didn't recognize that this is his school. We did so well. We understand that a well-prepared field is essential for athlete safety and peak performance, and we take great pride in delivering this level of support. Through the MMS Foundation, our investment reflects our belief that sports build character, strengthens communities, and open doors for future leaders. By supporting this meet, we are helping to nurture that legacy. As we look ahead, MMS Limited remains committed to being a steadfast partner, ensuring that the Wesley Powell Benjamin Track and Field Meet continues to grow, inspire, and uplift the next generation of champions. And it's good to see Ms. Nugent here because it gives you a good example of what can happen once you put in the work. I see. Oh, so we're going to make all right, so we're going to make the donation of the sponsorship now. Principal? You want to make sure we get everything? All right. Come back a bit. You can see it? What are you doing? So we are very happy to provide this sponsorship, and we look forward to doing this continuously from year to year. And thank you, and I return to the Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you, Mr. Gittins. And the 22nd staging of the Wesley Powell Meet would not be possible without our organizers. So let me introduce to you the members of the organizing committee. Our chairperson, Desmond Shakespeare, Michael Giridini, David Riley, Dr. Wade Marr, Patrick Brissett, Dr. Carol Long, Daniel Gray, Garth Riley, and Garth Sherwood. I would also like to acknowledge and introduce to you these individuals who uphold the standards, the fairness, and the professionalism of the event. Our meet officials. Our meet director, Cosma Stevens, competitions director, David Riley, call room referee, Langley Robinson, Chief Marshal Rashid Josephs, photo finish J3A, field referee Carol Cuffley, track referee Olive McNaughton, starter Reginald Reese, equipment manager Lloyd Bembridge, technical manager Chad Wright, and medical Dr. Cyril Gray and Dr. Emile. Each year, we honor some persons for their contribution to Jamaica's track and field and/or to the Excelsior community. This year, the Wesley Powell Benjamin's Track and Field Meet will recognize an eminent group of Jamaicans and Excelsorians who have brought glory to Excelsior and Jamaica. They are Mrs. Marva Bernard O.D., a sports administrator par excellence. She is a former president of Netball Jamaica and America's Netball. Mrs. Bernard is being recognized for her contribution to the development of her alma mater, Excelsior High, particularly the resuscitation of the sport of netball at Excelsior. Under her leadership, the school captured ISA Urban and All-Island titles, as well as being the first Caribbean team to win the America's Federation of Netball Associations, AFNA, Championship. Yes, you can give her a round of applause. Our second honoree, Dr. M. Audrey Stewart Hinchcliffe, CD, is an Excelsior High alumna who has forged a decades-long career in the health sector in Jamaica, the United States of America, and as health advisor to the Caribbean community, CARICOM. The founder and current chairman of Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited, Dr. Hinchcliffe, a long-standing benefactor of the Wesley Powell Benjamin's Track and Field Meet, is being recognized for her contribution to the development of the meet. A round of applause for Dr. Hinchcliffe. And our final honoree, Carl Bradshaw, OD, is a legendary Jamaican actor, film producer, and educator, widely regarded as one of the most influential figures in Caribbean cinema, commencing with the iconic 1972 film, The Harder They Come. Before pursuing an acting career, Mr. Bradshaw represented Jamaica in track and field and coached both the Excelsior boys and girls athletics teams, helping Excelsior to become the first school to win 4 consecutive Girls' Champs titles from 1970 to 1973. Mr. Bradshaw is being honored for his contribution to the development of the sport of track and field in Jamaica. Let us give a round of applause to this year's honorees for their remarkable contributions. Our title sponsor is P.A. Benjamin, and we are happy to have established this working relationship with them to continue to grow the meet. I invite a member of the organizing committee, Mr. Patrick Brissett, to bring greetings on their behalf at this time.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The honorees, Excelsorians, we are very proud of you all. Marva, Dr. Hinchcliffe, and who we call Brady. At school, we call them Brady. Today, I'm here representing P.A. Benjamin, who unfortunately could not make it here today. With what is happening, Melissa has got them in, I prefer to say, a little hot water. So they have had to be out of Kingston today. And the entire team has been taken out of town today. But for Dash, P.A. Benjamin has been one of our most outstanding company who has helped us over the years. P.A. Benjamin, if you all did not remember, we were having discussions, and up to the time of the function like this, we did not know that they were going to be main sponsor. And they just came in And the morning when they came in to hand over their check, they said, we are here for 5 years. We are hoping that it will be just more than 5 because they have been real good sponsors. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Benjamin, I'd like to say it has been an honor to be involved with the Excelsior program. And with the other sponsors, we are hoping that we will go very long time with Excelsior. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Brissett. And now it is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, a friend of Excelsior and a member of the Board of Management, the Excelsior Educational Center, EXED, this lady is a highly trained and experienced performance psychologist, sports sociologist, consultant, and advocate for human potential. She specializes in strategic development, capacity building, and evidence-based mental performance programs that empower athletes, teams, and organizations to excel. Her expertise extends to municipal transformation, research consulting, and academic leadership, integrating psychology, sociology, and policy to drive sustainable change. She's a passionate and purpose-driven performance psychologist and sports sociologist with over 15 years of experience leading transformative initiatives across sport, governance, and community development. Her work bridges the worlds of athlete performance, mental resilience, organizational strategy, and social impact, rooted in a deep understanding of Jamaica's cultural and developmental context. The founder of We Play Through It Period, a charity advancing athlete wellness and gender equity in sport, and a proud regional ambassador for athlete advocacy. Her scholarly work and presentations spans sport psychology, climate change and sport, and diaspora engagement, reflecting her belief that excellence in performance begins with excellence in mindset and systems. A licensed applied sports psychologist, Jamaica, and a chartered sports psychologist, United Kingdom, she holds a PhD in sociology from the University of Leicester, a master's degree in applied psychology from the UWI, and a Bachelor of Science in Psychology and Spanish, also from the UWI. Please welcome our most distinguished guest speaker and friend of Excelsior, Dr. Olivia Rose.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Miss Levy. I'm always honored to be in this space, especially at the high school that I don't often visit, but just being back here at Excelsior is a good feeling. So, why did my screen decide to go dark now? All right. Before I begin, I also want to say that I am one of the biggest jokes to my PE teacher, Miss Johnson. And when I revisited the school that I went to, Westwood High School, she was the first person I saw after we went up that hill. And the school, as you would have seen in the media, looks nothing as it was when I was a student there. Nonetheless, I didn't find my path in sport there, but every time I have an interview, I always have in the back of my head that Miss Johnson is somewhere watching, laughing, and saying, look at this girl, right? And so to the teachers and coaches here who helped to shape us, I want to first salute you. So Ms. Levy, Chairperson, Mr. Bromfield, Principal, CEO, and other executive members of Manpower and Maintenance Services team, other sponsors, Dash Athletics, members of the press, honorees, persons online, coaches, athletes, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today, I stand before you as being aware that we gather not only for a competition meet, but one which has been filled with memory, survival, and rebirth. The ground beneath us carries stories of a nation that has been shaken, drenched, and tested. Yet here we are, standing, breathing, hoping. The Wesley Powell Track and Field Meet has been the ground of competitive support for some of the greats like Akira Nugent, and this was in my speech first, okay? So I'm happy that you're here, and I'm happy that your name was the first name that I put, right? Welcome again, Akira Nugent, Nakoya Clunis, Asafa Powell, Shelley and Fraser Price, Megan Tappo, Ryan Ford, Julian Alfred, to name a few. Hurricane Melissa passed through Jamaica like a thief in the night, except she landed in broad daylight. And you know what? I had even purchased the weather app at that time, so like I was wondering why, you know, like everybody else, she was moving so slowly. But in the same way, when things become difficult with athletes, and I say to them, just imagine the finish line. I made sure I looked at the time based on her speed and how slowly she was moving. I remembered exactly that she would leave Jamaica 4:50 p.m. Little did I know that other members of the other parts of the island would be so devastated, even though the time was what I was focusing on just to get through the process. And bear in mind, I can tell you that I was looking on an app. It simply means that I was not so severely affected. She stole roofs, flooded dreams, and left entire communities holding their breath in the dark. But she did not take our spirit. She did not take our courage. She did not take our will to rise again. And for those of you who would have visited some of the most devastated parishes, you would notice that the spirit of the people still remain even through such utter devastation. In fact, I remember looking online this time after I had actually made the trip to Trelawney when Usain Bolt actually visited, and I think one of the survivors wanted a photo with him, and she said, "To the world, I'll do my flood out, to the world." And I was like, that's the power of sports. To the world, I'll do my flood out. And of course, those things really hit home, and you know that this is somebody who, and many of them have lost absolutely everything, yet sport remains one of the most uplifting and inspiring forces which no one can deny. And so today's theme, the turn of a new century, and for life and sports, is more than a slogan. The turn of a new century for life and sports is more than a slogan. It is a declaration that something inside us has shifted. And guess what? Storms do that. They do not leave us the same. They carve new rivers in the land and new strength in the soul. They show us what truly matters. Connection matters. And boy, winning last night would have really mattered, but let me just stick to the script. Unity matters, and the simple miracle of life truly matters. And so here, at the launch of this meet, we begin again. The Wesley Powell meet is not just a sporting event. It will be the rebirth of a century. A moment where we honor the pain of the past days, and now it has become weeks, but also the hope and promise of a brighter future to come. A moment where athletics becomes a form of prayer. With each stride whispered the declaration. And this declaration boldly says, we are still here. We are not defeated. We will rise again. Wesley Powell believed in the power of young people, their brilliance, their courage, their capacity to soar beyond circumstances and in spite of circumstances. And today, his vision lives in every athlete who steps onto the track despite the weight they carry. I was looking for Coach Vassell, but I'm not seeing him. He was the first person who introduced me to this particular track meet, and I know he brags daily about one of the track and field athletes. I met her when she was competing here. Her name was Loveless, and she's now completed her master's degree and is doing very well in life. And so this just goes to show that this track meet births not just athletes, but people who are well-rounded and succeed academically. Some of us lost little, some of us lost a lot. Some of us lost parts of our homes, some of us slept without electricity or water, and some of you now will train on fields filled with mud and debris. Some of you will now be running with borrowed spikes, borrowed jerseys, and borrowed strength. And by the way, this is no joke. There are some schools, especially the schools that I would work with in the most devastated parishes, who lost almost everything. And they are still competing now in the schoolboy football competition. And one of the principals told me that in addition to them losing material and gear and so on, they were also looted. So they're starting over from ground zero. So this boring aspect is not an imagination, it's not imaginary, it's actually real. And guess what? You will still compete regardless of having to go through these circumstances. You will still throw, you will still run. You will run because running reminds you that you are alive. You will run because movement is healing. You will run because every finish line reminds you that storms don't last, but resilience does. To the parents and supporters and sponsors, you will continue to be the warriors in the background, lifting, encouraging, rebuilding, holding families together, one small act at a time. To the coaches, your mentorship will be more than training. It will be the medicine for the mind and soul. To the administration, your work is the heartbeat of the sporting community. And to the athletes, you carry the quiet, enduring hope of a nation, a hope that flickered last evening, but a light that the Reggae Boys did not keep alive, even when Jamaica needed it the most. It is time to rise up, to take your place, shine like the sun. You know the rest of that song, right? When you sprint, Jamaica sprints. When you endure pain on the track, you remind us that our hearts can endure pain in life and still keep beating. The Wesley Powell Track and Field Meet will not only be about times, medals, and distance. It will be about meaning. It will be about the sacred act of showing up. And so in this moment, after Melissa, after loss, after fear, we choose to step into a new century with boldness and belief. A century where sport becomes a bridge back to healing. A century where the track becomes a place of rebirth. A century where the Jamaican spirit rises again and again, undaunted, unbroken, unstoppable. May the Wesley Powell track and field meet be a pre-Christmas gift filled with courage, light, and a quiet assurance that no storm can erase your destiny. Rise in excellence, rise in spirit, rise in this new century of hope, and charge to that finish line with the power of generations, turning every heartbreak into a momentum, every disappointment into a lasting victory. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rose, for those powerful insights. Your words will surely guide our athletes, coaches, and our wider community as we move forward. At this time, we'll now have a presentation to our guest speaker. I invite the representative to come forward. Dr. Rose, could you just come in front right here for us? Yes. Yeah.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Amoy Kentish, and I'm the female captain of the Excelsior track team. Okay, so Dr. Olivia Rose, thank you for, I would like to say thank you for coming out this morning to show or to tell us about your lovely speech, and hopefully we can see you more. So, and this is for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we are all eager to hear about the details of the Wesley Powell Benjamin's track and field meet slated for December 13. I invite the competitions director, Mr. David Riley, to come and share with us the details for the meet.
Good morning, everyone. I realize I have some fans. It is my pleasure to be involved with the meet from this side. I mean, I was elsewhere before and participated as a coach in the competition. And having joined the staff at Excelsior, and now on the operational side of the meet, it's a different experience, but it's a good experience. It's a great meet. I'm very critical of meets that I go to, and there are very few meets in Jamaica that actually runs on time. And in some cases, people almost think it's okay for Jamaicans to not be on time. They talk about Jamaica time, and sometimes that's like an hour and 2 hours late. And you don't apologize for being late. But this meet runs on time, and it's a different experience for the person who likes being on time. So the meet, as you know, is scheduled for the 13th of December, right here at Excelsior, on the only 9-lane track in Jamaica. And that's something that we talk about. It's not just to say it, but the extra lane actually allows us to run one additional person per race. So we end up running way more races than the normal competition on an 8-lane track. The entries are done online on our website, wesleypowellmeet.com, and of course one of the only meets that have a unique name for the website that we maintain year-round. You can go on the website and get all the details, previous results, as well as photos from previous events, and watch the live stream for the various meets that have been held in the past. The entry fee is $700 per athlete and $1,200 for relay teams, and all funds go to Excelsior High School. Admission is $500 per person and $200 for parking. The events, as you heard earlier, are for all classes, for boys and girls, and the primary school division is also on the program as an open division. The primary schools also have division by age, so they have class 1, 2, and 3, but that's not going to be done in this meet. They'll run all together as one category called primary. And that's just because we're introducing the competition at that level. So the events, 150 meters, 300 meters, 600, 1,000 for all classes, and clubs and institutions as well. The 3,000 meter open for females, the 5,000 meter open for males, the 4x300 meter high school girls and boys, and the 4x300 meter mixed relay for the primary schools. So the primary schools run a mixed relay, girl, boy. That's the order that they run the mixed relay at 4x300 meters. In the field, the events are long jump, high jump, shot put. Discus has been added back to the program. Some years, it's been a while since we've had a discus event, but this year it will be on the program. So all throws, javelin as well, and all the field events are qualifiers for the ISA Grace Boys and Girls Champs, as well as the 3,000 and the 5,000. The 150, for obvious reasons, the 150 meters is not contested at Boys and Girls Champs, so it's not a qualifier for Boys and Girls Champs. But all the other events that the distances are the same are qualifiers for Boys and Girls Champs. And as you heard earlier, the event is now listed on the World Athletics Global Calendar, so all performances will be eligible for world ranking points. Top 3 finishers for each event will receive a medal, and of course, if there's a tie, then the persons who finish in that place will also get the medals. The order of events is already posted on the website, so you can go to the wesleypowellmeet.com and you can download the order of events. And the order of events is set up to help with maintaining the excitement throughout the day, and especially towards the end of the day. So we start with the 5,000 meter open, then the 3,000 meters, and then we run the 300 meters for all classes. Then we move to the 1,000 meters, and then the 600 meters. So coaches who have athletes running the 1,000 and the 600, it's a short turnaround between those events, but those are usually the athletes in the endurance events, so it's not bad a workout for them on that day. So they run the 1,000 and then they come back in just a few minutes to run the 600. Good workout. Mr. Brissett, I guess you'll join them. Maybe not. So just plan for that. It's a short turnaround between the 1,000 and the 600 meters on that day. So you can plan it. It's detailed in terms of the times, so you can follow those times and see how much rest time the athletes will actually get who may very well do that double. After the 600, we have the opening ceremony, and then we start with the 150 meters for all classes. And it's based on the number of entries that we've been having over the last couple of years. There is a 150-meter race every 90 seconds. So imagine that. Every 90 seconds, there is a race. That's how fast the races are. I think last year we had about 850 athletes entered in the 150 meters. And just divide that by 9 and see how many races we actually have to run in a very short time. And we did finish exactly on time. After the 150s, we have the 4x300 meter relays, and then of course we conclude the day's events like that. There's a technical meeting for coaches and team managers on Zoom, and that will be on Thursday, the Thursday before the meet. That's the 11th of December at 8 p.m. And right after that meet, the coaches are expected to make their final declaration. So that on that day, by 9 p.m., they should withdraw any athlete who will not be competing, because we do not want to run with any empty lanes. And in fact, the entry fee is due whether the athlete participates or not, because it's an entry fee and not a participation fee. So if you enter 10 athletes and 5 show up, you still have to pay for 10 because you entered 10. So we want coaches to be aware it is an entry fee, not a participation fee. So if you withdraw them by the declaration date and time, which is 8 p.m. on Thursday, then they won't show up on your invoice for Ms. Akas to collect from you on Saturday morning, right? So we want to make sure that all the persons who are issued bibs are persons who will participate, and that is how most of the meets will run going forward. So we want to make it clear that there is a separate areas for warm-up and for the competition, and we utilize the entire campus on that day. We utilize utilizing the field across the road as well. So we're fully activated on that day. Separate areas for discus, javelin, shot put, a long jump will take place on the Mondo runways, and there are 2 Mondo runways here at Excelsior. And of course, there's an area designated for team tents, and teams can set up their tents in those areas, and that should be done from the day before as best as possible. We are actually reaching out to teams out in Western Jamaica, and we do have a special arrangement for teams that have been affected. And so once those teams enter, we'll communicate with them what we'll be doing. They will be actually providing a free tent for them on the day. And I think we're doing something for lunch as well. That is part of our effort. And we're encouraging persons to bring items of donation that we'll collect on the day and add to the distribution to those who are affected. When we come to a meet in December, we don't talk about qualifying for Issa Grace Boys and Girls Champs and wanting to make sure we register a qualifying performance. The sport has moved to a system of ranking and not an absolute performance. It's not the time that you run or the distance that you jump that determines whether you qualify for Boys and Girls Champs. It is how that performance ranks among the other performances. So for example, in the discus, I think they take the top 30. So it doesn't matter, you could break the champs record and finish 31st, you're just not going. So when we come to December, we wouldn't expect that a performance in December would withstand all the challenges up to the end of March. That if a performance done in December is the best of the performance, then that person would do well anyway. So December is not about registering a qualifying performance for champs. December is about seeing where you are based on how you have been preparing so far, whether you've been in 2 months preparation, 3 months preparation. So that's one of the reasons why we allow for an unlimited number of participants per school, per class. Most meets have a restriction where they say you can only have 4 athletes in the 150 or whatever. We do not have that because at this stage, coaches are still working with a bigger than usual squad and are really just preparing the athletes, not knowing exactly who will come through, but wanting to give them the chance to compete. So it's not about the qualifying, even though the meets will allow you to qualify for champs. We want coaches to come and bring their athletes and demonstrate where they are at this stage. So we're looking forward to a great day, and we certainly will make sure everything from an operational standpoint is of a high quality, that the experience will be one that is worthwhile. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Riley, for sharing those details with us. Clearly, December 13 is going to be a very special day. Of course, this would not be possible without our kind sponsors. Our list of sponsors includes some of Jamaica's best companies and our past students who continue to be in love with their school. We greatly appreciate the involvement of everyone with our meet. Our title sponsor, PA Benjamin. Our gold sponsors, Grace Kennedy Remittance Services and Excelsior Class of 1980. Our hospitality sponsor, Manpower Maintenance Services Limited. Our hydration sponsor, LASCO. Telecommunications sponsor, Flow. And our associate sponsors, Staff Arm Services, Vector Technology Institute, Caribbean Assurance Brokers, Technique Lab, Tankweld Fabrication, Mothers, Allied Protection Foundation, Michael McIntosh, Dr. Chris Allen, Dr. Newton Duncan, Bunny Levy Associates, Cal's Manufacturing, Judy and Winston Ewart, On the Run Events Management, 3-in-1 Construction and Technical Services, eFast, Troppy Shades, Darren Green, Noel Mitchell and Derek Melvin, Sydney and Nicola Crisp, George Willie, John Simmons, Canute Godfrey, MK Sports, Kimone Campbell, Dr. Dwight Benjamin, Mikey Davey, Charles Wire Murray, Excelsior Syndicate, Gollops Farms, Dawn Walker, the Packer Family, Source Technology Limited, Kenny Mason, and Class of 1986, Form 11-2. We express our gratitude to our sponsors. Thank you for coming on board. And we now invite you to turn your attention to the screen for a video presentation. Okay, we'll forego that. We'll now invite our sponsors to make their presentations in the following order. I think I'm going to invite Ms. Akira Nugent to make the presentation for our title sponsor, PA Benjamin. And she'll be making that presentation to Dr. Olivia Rose, our guest speaker.
Using that Good morning, everyone. My name is Akira Nugent, and this morning I'll be making the presentation on behalf of PHB Benjamin and also Excelsior. And we'd like to say thank you for your kindness and your generosity towards the Excelsior Eagle. And we look forward to continue to working with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Akira. Our gold sponsors, could you come forward, please, to make your presentations? Grace Kennedy Remittance Services and Excelsior Class of 1980. Are they here? Okay, we move on to our associate sponsors. If you have a presentation to make, I invite you to come at this time. Our associate sponsors. Okay. Well, once again, thank you to all our partners. We now open the floor for questions from members of the media. I'm sorry, Dr. Hinchcliffe, please come forward to make your presentation.
Morning, colleagues. When Desmond mentioned to me that the meet will be providing support to the schools who have been affected by the hurricane in terms of food or something, and that how much the foundation requires funds, I said I could not, with all conscience, not contribute to that endeavor. If you have not driven across the country like I have since the passing of the hurricane, then you cannot understand what you're seeing in videos and what have you, what is real on the ground. I'm a Trelawney girl. I've seen it all. So Desmond, on behalf of the Manpower Foundation, we are making this donation towards the assistance you'll be giving to the schools that have been affected by the hurricane. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hinchcliffe, for your contribution. Dr. Rose, you may come forward now to make your presentation.
Coach Riley, could you please accept these student athlete journals? No, they are not for you. and Coach Riley is not somebody I can say no to. So on behalf of the work that I have done, and I package it in small student athlete journals, I have presented these to you to distribute to the athletes who you think will benefit from this the most.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Riley, please don't go too far. I now invite questions from the media. And thank you to all our sponsors. Once again, we are very grateful. Questions from the media, the floor is now open. No questions from the media? Yes? Please stand and state your question. Dwight Fraser from IRA FM. Mr. Riley? The question is for you.
All right, so the question is, what are the new events on the program for 2025? There are no new events on the program. What is new is the fact that the performances will now go into the World Athletics database, which we made sure we secure for the purpose of the athletes. One of the things that, because the sport has moved to rankings, then every competition where the athlete can register a performance, it actually counts. Recently, our own Chad Wright, who qualified for the World Championships as athlete in the quota system, earned his ranking points from local meets. It was really because of the quality of the local meets that gave him the edge to qualify based on his points. So the more meets that we can get in the global calendar, the better it is for our athletes in general. And Jamaica, we do host very good meets. We might not necessarily have all the bells and whistles, but the quality of the meets and officiating is very good in Jamaica. I don't know of any meet where the results are questioned. It's well accepted, and if somebody runs 10 flat in Jamaica, it is accepted as 10 flat. Nobody raises their eyebrow and say, well, I mean, how short or how long was that distance? So we made sure that the event is registered in the global calendar. A question about how are the entries so far. We're 4 weeks away from the competition, and the entries open on the 1st of November. And we have in the system, I think, maybe about 64 athletes entered already. So these are the really previous people. Most times it's the day of the deadline that the system comes to a screeching halt because everybody waits. Somebody called me, asked me, when is the deadline? I said, why are you waiting for the deadline? I don't know the deadline for meets because as soon as the portal opens, I do my entries. So if you're always fixed on deadlines, then the stresses. But so far, I think Holy Childhood High School has done their entries, and I think Campion College has done their entries as well.
And then the last question from me. Being the man in charge of the National Junior Program, you would, of course, begin the process now to look at talent going into 2026, or not necessarily?
From this meet?
Yes, or it would be too early to say. I'm not sure.
Well, my responsibilities extend beyond this meet. So we're always having our eyes open for talent. And you mentioned my direct responsibility for the Under 20 program. We've been actively preparing ourselves to make sure that our best athletes are available through the program that the J3 has launched with another international partner, and that has been going very well. And some of our athletes here at Excelsior, I think 8 of our athletes here made that list, that monitoring list, so we do have the quality, and we're happy for the role that this meet plays in developing that type of quality in our program.
All right, that shall be all for me.
Thank you, Mr. Fraser. Any other questions? I'll hand back over to you.
Thank you. We'll now take that video presentation. I invite you to turn your attention to the screen.
Hurricane Melissa recovery continues with the 22nd staging of the Wesley Powell Benjamin's track and field meet at Excelsior High in Kingston. Join us on Saturday, December 13th, as we give athletes the chance to display their skills in running, jumping, and throwing. It's early season action from 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. with the high-energy 4x300 meters relays to close the show. Visit wesleypowellmeet.com for more information. Admission $500. Bring donations of food items for affected teams in Central and Western Jamaica.
Okay. Thank you all for sharing in the launch of the 22nd staging of the Wesley Powell Benjamin's Track and Field Meet. We are indeed grateful for your continued support. To our sponsors, we extend our sincerest gratitude for your generosity and unwavering commitment to this event. To our athletes, coaches, and meet officials, we wish you all the best as you prepare for this prestigious competition. And to our guests, both in person and online, thank you for taking the time to join us today. We look forward to a successful and memorable 22nd Wesley Powell Benjamin's Track and Field Meet. See you on Saturday, December 13, right here at Excelsior High School. Blessings to you all. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, the photographer is asking for us to come forward to take a photo, a group photo. Thank you.